Good morning, everyone. All right. My name is Siang Yu Tham. I am from the University of Florida, and I am a research scholar and instructor at the Environmental Horticulture Department. I'm also the Therapeutic Horticulture Program Manager at Wilmot Botanical Gardens. Before I can start my presentation, I just want to appreciate all of you for being here, and I think you should give yourselves a round of applause also for being here and for being committed to aging well, and living with Parkinson. So round of applause for all of you for being here. And today I want to talk about plants and you, but really it should be plants and us, because it also involves me. And I cycled here this morning. It was a beautiful cycle. I was just so amazed by all the flowers that were blooming, because it's spring finally, and there was so much greenery around me. And it just lifted my spirits up early this morning. And as I was cycling here, I thought, there's so much greenery around us here in Gainesville, in Florida, and I think that's something we really have to be thankful for. For a lot of us, as we're moving or living in urban areas, one of the things that is happening to us is that we're becoming increasingly disconnected from nature. Many of us may not have as many opportunities to go out, to spend time in the wild or in nature. A survey done in 2001 showed that more than 90% of Americans spent majority of their time indoors. And indoors could be in a building, in our homes, or in our cars. A separate study in 2016 showed that the average daily media consumption for an adult is 10 hours and 39 minutes. That's 10 hours and 39 minutes in one day. And that was a study done in 2016. We're in 2024 now. We have a lot more access to different ways to watch TV shows and watch movies online. I remember as a child, I may have had 3 or 4 channels on the TV to watch. Today we have hundreds of options. With social media, with the internet, can you imagine how much more time we're spending looking at our little screens? And we're not really going outside, walking or looking at plants, interacting with plants. Some of you may say, in that photo there, that's Gainesville, downtown. Well, there are lots of plants around us. We've got trees along the sidewalks. Many of you may have your own backyards. You have plants around you. But there's an interesting phenomenon called plant blindness. And this is where we are surrounded by plants, but we're not necessarily interacting with them. We're not noticing them. You may not know what tree it was that you walked by 5 minutes ago. If I were to ask you what those trees are, how many of you would know what they are? Were there any flowers blooming? Were there any birds on the tree? Not many of us may pay attention to these things anymore. And so plant blindness is really an underappreciation of the flora around us, which is a shame because we're surrounded by beautiful nature here in Florida. All right, so I wanted to show you this wheel. This is a wellness wheel. And now when we think about wellness, most of us might immediately think about physical wellness, right? That's the most obvious form of wellness, whether you're doing well or not. How do you tell if you're doing well? Well, I have a sore arm, or well, I'm not breathing as well today, or well, my heart's beating a little fast. These are easy signs for us to tell whether or not we're doing well physically, but there are so many other dimensions of wellness that are present in our lives. It could be physical, it could be emotional wellness, it could be environmental wellness, social wellness, and so on. And these are all aspects of our lives that we don't necessarily pay as much attention to. But I want to share with you how plants and interacting with plants can allow us to also pay attention to each of these dimensions, because they're equally important. It's not just about our physical wellness. It's not just about staying physically active, but are we also paying attention to how our mind, our heart is feeling, and how are we doing with our social connection with people? All of these are part of what wellness is about. Studies have shown that having contact with nature can bring about a lot of different health benefits. And these benefits, again, do not just encompass physical health. It's physical, it's emotional, it's psychological, it's social. So nature contact has been shown to reduce stress. It can promote better sleep. It improves your mental health. And this could include reducing depression, reducing anxiety. Being in contact with nature can also bring about greater happiness, overall well-being, and satisfaction. It has helped to reduce aggression among certain populations, such as children with ADHD, young adults with autism. Nature contact can also increase your pro-social behavior and social connectedness as you interact with people. And it has also been shown to improve pain control for people with chronic pain. I have not defined nature at all in this presentation because nature can mean so many things to different people, and there's kind of a scale of what interaction or contact with nature can involve. It could be as simple as having a couple of potted plants at home. It could be gardening in your own backyard or volunteering in a garden. It could be simply having a window view of nature. If you're working in an office building, if you're able to look out the window and see some parts of nature, that's also nature contact. It could be fishing, or visiting a park or a public garden. If you're a little bit more adventurous, it could be hiking. Or if you're even more adventurous, you could be going out to the wild and perhaps camping outside. So we can see that nature contact can involve so many different types of activities. Some of them are a little bit more passive, some of them are more active, and some of them could involve traveling quite a fair bit to be involved with nature. And again, the sort of contact we have with nature varies, or rather our accessibility to these forms of nature can vary depending on so many factors. It could be our physical health, it could be cost, it could be time, it could be so many different reasons that would influence or impact how much we can interact with nature. What I want to share with you today is a program that we have at the University of Florida. It's a therapeutic horticulture program where we are using gardening and plant-related activities that are accessible to improve the quality of life of individuals with various needs. And what we have at the Therapeutic Horticulture Program is activities that allow you to learn to grow plants and in an accessible way. What do I mean by accessible? I'm in my 30s, and already I am experiencing back pain when I'm gardening. Bending and stooping is, also a strain for myself. So in the greenhouse, where we run our therapeutic horticulture program, we have comfortable areas. We've modified ways to garden so that it's easy and comfortable for people. Whatever adjustments need to be done, it could be using adaptive tools, it could be providing seating, tables. All of that is taken into consideration in our program. And we are promoting activities that incorporate specific therapeutic benefits. Like some of the benefits I mentioned earlier, our activities aim to decrease mental fatigue. It helps to improve some of our coping skills, to improve our physical function. We do a lot of activities that focus on improving your fine and gross motor skills. We, of course, with plants, a great way that plants can help us is to reduce stress. All that sensory stimulation that we have in gardening and interacting with people during these activities really help us to reduce our stress. At the same time, you're learning to care about plants. I know many of you here are already care partners, so you do a lot of caregiving. In therapeutic horticulture, we care for plants, but at the same time, I think this is an activity that really allows us to feel a great sense of achievement and fulfillment, to see something grow and thrive under our care. It also helps to decrease anxiety among many different populations, learning to find ways to ground ourselves, to remain calm, and to be able to release some of that anxious feelings that we have. And more importantly, what we have at the Therapeutic Horticulture program is we are trying to promote a restorative environment where you will be supported by staff and volunteers, and also you will be supported by people with the same experiences as you, with a common interest of plants and gardening. There are a lot of words on this slide, and I don't expect you to read all of them, but I thought it would be nice to share a couple of photos with you so you get a better picture of what we do. Here are some photos. The one on the top left is the greenhouse. This is where we run our therapeutic horticulture programs. It's a climate-controlled greenhouse. It's fully accessible. It's fitted with bathrooms, and we have comfortable seating in there. So it's not the typical greenhouse you may be thinking of when I said greenhouse. We also have a 5-acre garden that's beautiful to walk through. There are lots of benches there to sit. So it's a nice experience just for you and your partner to walk around and enjoy that calm and restorative environment. And what do we do in those programs or activities? We learn to grow plants, right? We'll teach you how to grow various types of plants, edible plants, ornamental plants. You'll also be doing some plant-related art. And again, we have adaptive tools for these activities to suit everybody's needs. And the best part is all the plants and all the art that you create are all free for you to take home. So people always get excited when I say, you get free plants. So lastly, I just want to share this is a program that we are running specifically for people with Parkinson's and their care partners. It's 1 hour a week. This is a program and a research study that we're doing, and it's a community program that's supported by the Parkinson's Foundation. So you will be learning to grow plants. You will benefit from group support, being surrounded by people who have a common interest, and you also get to explore different wellness strategies in here. So we're not just going to teach you gardening skills, but we're really using gardening as a form or as a medium to help us to explore various dimensions of wellness in our lives. So if you have any questions, I do have a contact email here. This is our Director of Programs, Lee Deal. Or after this session, I will also be over at the corner with the Parkinson's Foundation, so you can pick up a flyer, or I'm also happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you.